Hey out there in YouTube land is Kuda Slayer once again. I decided I wanted to do another video today of converting a media franchise over to the Mekton Zeta role-playing game system, kind of show um, how versatile the system can be. Um, today, today's subject was actually brought up by kind of a challenge that was posted to one of the Mekton Zeta Facebook groups by Craig Sheeley, who happens to be a long-term member of the Mekton Zeta mailing list. So this is kind of a shout out to him, and remember, you brought this on yourself. So anyway, his challenge was to stat out the gun star from the Last Starfighter. If you're not familiar with it, The Last Starfighter was a movie in 1984. It was kind of one of the first kind of one of the very first movies to use a lot of computer graphics in it, not just for on on the computer screens that people type on and such, but actually on as action and such. Um, anyway, this is kind of my normal format I use to kind of pick apart a franchise or media to kind of make it more digestible for conversion. And as usual, there's my warning about tangents. So when I start going rambling on something or other little interventions. So anyway, The Last Starfighter. Basically, it's the typical hero's journey. You have this kid who's out in the middle of nowhere who feels like he has no prospects for a future. He's trying to go to college. Of course, he gets denied. He has a girlfriend he's trying to be with, and yada yada yada. But he's working as a handyman for his family's trailer park, and so he deals with old people and all their problems every day. And so future is quote unquote bleak. The only distraction for him is a video game, arcade game that happens to be on the at the snack bar convenience store for the trailer park. Unbeknownst to him, he breaks a score record on there, and it turns out that the arcade game is a recruiting device by an alien race. Of course, this brings their attention, and they go forth and recruit him to fight in their battles, which is kind of the general gist of the story. Try not to spoil it. If you have not seen the movie, I really suggest you go out and see it. It's on DVD and Blu-ray. It pops up on cable fairly often. It has a cult following. It's a really good movie. Mecha stick wise, there's not really too much out there. Pretty much everything in the roles as is can support whatever. Is there anything that's weird or anything can be hand waved? There's not really anything. There's no friendship is magic and time travel, which I sarcastically refer to as in Gundam Unicorn and such. There's nothing really off the wall. The Gunstar itself is can't get a spoiler right there. It's a fairly straightforward ship. I was going to try to show some video because I'm sorry to get ahead of myself here. Even though there's not much information given in the movie and the novel that followed it, there is enough information that a good number of fans got together and made a wiki about it. So you got that for general information. Here's a nice close-up still of the hero ship. Very beautiful design. Very beautiful design. And I think the special effects still can't even hold up for today. The penultimate action sequence near the end of the movie, there is a weapon system called the Death Blossom, which is this ship that they're using, and happens to be the only one that has it. Basically, it caused the ship to spin around in one spot and constantly fire all its guns and destroy all nearby targets. I was going to show a video that is unfortunately like the only combat video I can really find, and gonna try to get this to at least not cause any problems with YouTube.
Life support good. Ammo packs are peak.
Think we gotta use Death Blossom.
Remember, Death Blossom delivers only one massive volley at close range. Theoretically.
What do you mean, theoretically?
After all, DB has never been tested. It might overload the systems. Blow up the ship.
What are you worried about, Krieg? Theoretically, we should already be dead.
Open Death Blossom
It's so funny,
petals.
the
Switches off.
reptile character there happens to be the old man from RoboCop, and the evil CEO. Unfortunately, this was like one of his last roles he played.
Do not trigger
Death
DB
Blossom
until we're
being
within
deployed.
range. Just use your lasers until I give the signal. Remember to leave
Been
your
recruited
target.
by the Star League
Come on,
to defend the
relax.
frontier.
Now you're ready.
This is it. Here we go.
Charge!
Like I said, everything in here is pretty straightforward. The enemy spacecraft are kind of built like the TIE fighters from Star Wars. Basically, just give them enough weapons and defenses to make them effective and be cost effective, but just not enough to give their pilots to something to rebel with.
Power packs are low. We need time to recharge.
Stat-wise,
Laser power draining.
the Gunstar is, would be fairly large for a scale 1 vessel, especially if you give you the opportunity to use more armor and
Krieg, my weapons are gone!
defensive systems.
Should I do it?
Easy, easy. Wait till they're
Well,
all in Death
and I
Blossom
would
range.
suggest, considering the maneuverability it shows in some of the combat, I would recommend using a hybrid form instead of fighter for the Gunstar.
Fire!
Because you can actually go forward, backwards. And here we see the Death Blossom in action. And would build the enemy fighters as straight fighter forms, since they don't show too much in maneuverability. Having almost no choice in going forward. As you saw, some of them kind of crashing into each other. But oops, let's go back. I mean, that's just a beautiful ship, in my opinion. Let's see. And there's another channel I found, Resurrected Starships. They got a really good breakdown video, and I got that screwed up. Okay, anyway, I think I had a really good video here that goes into fairly good detail about the vessel. Excuse me. Anyway, like I said, the Gunstar would be a fairly large scale 1 vessel. I would build it as a hybrid form, just for the maneuverability factor, and also give you options to put whatever kind of servos you want. Larger servos would definitely give a lot more plot armor and defenses that for a hero vessel, especially since this is the only fighter that's left after a key moment in the movie. The weapon systems, there were like 5 laser guns. There's a turret here, 2 more here, and then 2 in the back. Those get for attack and anti-missile defenses. And then at the points here on the sort of the sides, here, and then there and there is a kind of a proton missile launcher. I think they call them photon bolts or something like that. You see them being fired at kind of heavier targets. not that too often, although in the resource materials there is mention of there being particle cannons. We don't really ever see those being used, but it's kind of assumed that these points here, and then there's another one there, and there's another one on the side that supposedly the particle cannons. No one really, again, we never seen them in the movie being used. They're assumed they're probably like some kind of really heavy weapon that's safe for like capital ships or slow targets or whatever you want to call them. I would all that should be fairly general for anybody to design. The only sticking point that I can think of would be is the Death Blossom weapon. This is kind of the last ditch super weapon they used to save the day. With hidden on the special, rather tempting yet warning, ominous panel here, which they used to activate it. Frankly, in my opinion, they should have just used this as a button instead of that little warning stripe signs. Because this is more descriptive of what the weapon is than anything else. But basically, what I would suggest, first off, there's two points on this I'm going to make. First point is that since this is a last-ditch weapon, and this is something that you want the heroes to hold on to, you don't really want the enemy getting a lucky shot before players can deploy it. So I would really recommend. I don't have that up. Rats. I would really recommend using dimensional storage function and stupid Mekton tricks. This kind of would take the weapons and put them into kind of a pocket dimension, sort of works. It's kind of like they used to describe what happens to the trailer when Optimus Prime transforms from this semi-form into robot form. It's that kind of what's been kind of a long debate ever since Generation 1 Transformers. It's kind of one simple way of protecting it. Normally it's used for only handheld weapons, but since this is the only starship or starfighter that has this weapon, I would really sweat it too much. Kind of hand wave it for as a special deal. The starship should still pay the price for it, but it's a benefit that it has. If it was something for multiple ships, I can sort of see some needs about that, but otherwise, that's kind of a point, I wouldn't worry too much about. The second part about the Death Blossom would be is how to do it. There's 3 choices I would recommend. Starting simplest would be reserving the Death Blossom as one or more linked automated NG melee weapons with an attack factor, and I would scale it up to at least scale 10. If you're working at scale 1, kick it up to 10. Use the gun transformation to do that with, instead of actually paying the full price, especially since the spacecraft seems to stay in a stationary spot when it's using the weapon. The problem with that, the attack factor, at scale 1 it has a range of 1 hex, but when you of course scale up, you can get 10 to even go up starship scale. Give it high weapon accuracy. The only problem is the attack factor only attacks so many enemies before you start actually using actions to complete more attacks. Even when you have several altogether linked, that I just that's kind of one reason why I'm not really crazy about this idea. The second idea would be as a series of energy beam weapons with like a 360 area effect. You have them all linked together. Maybe just one shot it. Maybe even combine it with the the turbocharger, so you can boost the power on them even further. And give it a backup generator just for heck. Give the weapons all maybe even a burst value, just so you have multiple hits on the enemy craft, just depending on how strong you make them. The third choice is a lot more complicated, and it's kind of a combination of what I use for some of the ships in my NOAA setting. Basically, I designed these kind of claymore-like weapons that are stacked, put on the side of the ships. They're basically zero range, large blast area weapons that are kind of a scale down from the ship itself, so that it won't be affected by its own weapons. Or if you can do it at the same scale as the ship, you mate those bombs with like a force field to protect the ship while all these bombs are all going off, and hopefully taking out all the troops with all the enemy troops with it. That's really kind of about the best three options I can suggest. Again, it could be a good way to combine it with both gun transformation and turbocharger. The turbocharger might be taken a little bit too far. Otherwise, that's how I would do the Gunstar and its the Gunstar 1 Death Blossom weapon. Again, just I still love this button. It still cracks me up when I was thinking this through. But anyway, that's how I would do the Gunstar from Last Starfighter. If you have not seen the movie, really go out and watch it. Even for something that's almost close to 40 years old, I still feel like it holds it up. It's not too dumb. It's entertaining. And if worst case, it could be a good inspiration for making your own setting and developing even further. Now I just keep talking about there being a sequel, but I remember the original author kind of always kind of downplaying the ideas that Starfighters being a kind of more of a standalone movie. There's not much more to be said for it. But anyway, that's all I have to say on that. If you have any suggestions or any more comments or anything else you'd like to have spoken about, leave a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button as well. Please hit the like button if you can, please. And again, if you have any comments or anything else you want to take the discussion, again, leave a comment down below. Yet again, there's all kinds of stuff down there. Anyway, big thanks to Craig Sheeley for kind of putting the challenge out, and I'll catch you guys next time again. And again, this is Kuda Slayer, and aka Daytime Number of the Beast, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.